What's going on, everyone? We are back, and I am so hype for this new league. Ultimatum is coming back, and I didn't get to play it the first time. After seeing just a little preview of how it works, I am fully on board. It looks dope. I can completely see why people really wanted this, and it was the most requested core change. The new ascendancies look amazing. The fact that you get them on top of your regular ascendancies is also very cool, as long as kind of a sentinel inspired, imbuing the enemies to make them stronger when you're outside kind of thing. All very, very cool. And even the changes to the gems are, I don't want to say awesome yet, because obviously we haven't tried them, we don't know, but it is always nice to have a meta shakeup. Now this is going to be just kind of a patch notes video about things that just stood out to me, and I actually already recorded this video. Last night I did all of this, and it was about 2 hours of doing certain things and trying to edit it, and every single thing went wrong. The footage and the recording was unusable. I had reformatted my computer in between the end of my video making last league, and my settings were just all messed up. So I scrapped it, went to bed, kind of bummed. Woke up this morning and was like, all right, we still got to do it though. So I'm going to do this one more time, make sure everything was working. So here we go. All right, the first one is the Ashes of the Stars got a nerf. And when I recorded this video last night, I was just saying how it is much, much worse. But after I did some more thinking on it, it does have all of that quality, and quality is very different in this new league as far as importance is concerned. Now, a lot of gems seem to get have changed up what their quality does, and some of them it's a big buff, namely a lot of them that are getting more projectiles with quality, which means things like enhance, that one unique helmet gives 30 to 50% extra quality to a gem, that it only has one socket. Things like that are going to be very nice for getting projectiles and a lot of the other changes. So this seems like it was more of a balancing to not make this absolutely ridiculous and make it almost necessary on every single build. So I can kind of see why they did this. I feel like they still should have kept a little bit of the reservation efficiency, maybe made it 5 to 10, or 1 to 5, or just kept a little bit of it, but they just axed it. We'll see if it is a huge nerf, or if it's just, well, it evens back out because added quality gems is so high that we will see at a later time. Righteous Fire got a nerf. Don't be fooled, it is definitely a nerf. Check on your Pox friends and see how they are doing, as well as Pox himself, because this is a huge, unexpected change, to be honest. I thought it was relatively well balanced. It was an amazing league starter. To boss with it and go do a lot of the endgame stuff, it took investment and talent to actually do. So it is definitely a nerf now. Also, shout out to the guy that was on a Discord with a streamer I was watching last night, a very prevalent one, who called all Righteous Fire players geriatric, and thank you for reminding me why I make these videos, because I will never be that elitist but make fun of people that play an easier build that they just enjoy playing in a damn single player game. Chill the F out, people. Let people play if they have fun. Don't make fun of them. Righteous Fire is a fun ass build. I've played it before. I highly enjoyed it. Now it scales. It doesn't get base damage. It scales more off of your your maximum life and energy shield as its base fire damage per second. So some people are like, oh well, it equals out about the same once you get like 7,000 HP, and it's not that hard to get that. Yeah, but you're not focusing on damage for things like your fire trap for your single target. So it is a nerf. There are ways around it. There's I think it's called the Ivory Tower armor and stuff. People are going to figure out ways to build around this, but it is annoying because you're going to have to figure out ways that the average POE player isn't going to be able to figure out for themselves. So this build that a lot of people I know is the main one that they know already has completely changed, and I know a lot of them are going to be like, well, I don't even want to play that much anymore because the one build I knew really well is going to take too much to learn the other way to learn. So thank God for people like Pox who are going to figure it out and put guides up for people, because I wouldn't even want to put in the work to figure out a better way to play this build that I had already been doing. But hopefully people figure it out, because I think Righteous Fire is an amazing build. It's a very newer player-friendly build. and I think it is very important in the world of PoE. The next one is the inspiration support change. This is not a huge change. I'm more pointing this out because a lot of the builds that I like to play always end up needing inspiration, namely Divergent Inspiration, because they're very mana hungry. And the Divergent version, which no longer exists anymore, there's no more alternative quality gems in the new league, would give more than this 5% reduced mana cost at the max quality percent and at the max level. I think it was 10 to 12% or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it was more than the 5% you can get now. So might have to get, you know, some jewels with some reduced mana cost on top of other things. So you're going to be getting less damage on things, like maybe my Cast Iron Great Ice Spear build is going to need probably gems to get to that, because it is very thin line between running out of mana and being able to sustain it once you are getting a high trigger rate and a high amount of attacks per second. So nothing crazy, but, you know, Inspiration Divergent especially is used on a lot of builds. So I think this might shake things up. People might have to figure out some very maybe ugly ways of fixing their mana problems. And I'm hoping this doesn't make it so some builds it's like, well, you need Mage Blood basically for that 25% reduced cost to skills on your flask that's up all the time with that increased effect, things like that. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure we'll figure out a way to get around it in the least painful way possible. Heat Shiver got nerfed. We knew this was going to happen. We saw this coming. I think it got a pretty crazy nerf. 30% of cold damage is extra fire. Previously down from 100%. That is a pretty big nerf to this, especially for melee builds. We'll see if it's... I mean, it's still usable. It's still probably pretty decent. But I do think this was a huge nerf. But again, this is not surprising. We saw this coming. Another one we saw coming is Calm's Spirit. Unique gloves that would give you Fear or Rage for your life recovery per second. It has been really nerfed. It went from gaining it for every 100 life recovery to now 300, so they tripled the value on this. It is going to be very hard to keep Berserk up for a long time. This got hella nerfed. I know even my armor stacker, I had to have an insane amount of regenerate life per every 4 seconds when you regenerate to full. And that was still just enough to top it off. So I could think a third of that would feel absolutely terrible. So these are probably kind of screwed. Some people will probably still use them, but they're definitely not even close to as good as they were. But again, another one that we kind of saw coming, but wasn't expecting it to be this crazy. I thought maybe it'd be 150 or 200 life recovery. Yeah, pretty extreme. This one is just basically, they say it's a change. I think it's a bug fix. I think this was dumb to begin with. When you use the Destructive Plague Keystone, you would have to wait to kill the boss until Maven said it's time to up the stakes. It was really, really dumb, because half the time you would forget. You know, you're just ripping through a map, go to the boss, you kill him, and you go, oh shit. I had to kite around for a second, wait for her to summon the extra bosses that his Keystone gives. That is no longer the case. Thank God they changed it. I don't know why they didn't change it sooner. This doesn't seem like that crazy of a change, but I'm glad in videos when I say to use this Keystone, I don't have to preface it with, you have to wait, 1 to 3 seconds walking around till she just says the damn words and actually does the thing she's supposed to do. So that's just a net positive. I'm glad they changed this. Ghost busting is now a lot shittier and probably dead, generally. It might be kind of like the self-sustained Winged Scarab strat that they nerfed because they turned the Sextant Horde Crafting Station bench thing from 100% to 50%, made it more of a gamble, still made it okay, but wasn't nearly as crazy or as useful as it once was. That's what I'm assuming this is, as now you get 20 nearby normal and magic monsters for each Tormenting Spirit, previously from 50. Not to mention the bench now gives 2 extra Tormented Spirits for 2 chaos, and I believe it was like 3 or 4. So it got double hit. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good. I'm sure some people will at least try it. And, it still might be decently profitable, but we'll have to see. But yeah, without a doubt, this is not nearly as good as it used to be. This Hinakora's Lock nerf, I don't know if it's sad or funny or both, but this is like the epitome to me of GGG doing a get off my lawn kids kind of change, because it's like having it so that you can't foresee the corrupting of an item with the Altar of Corruption, that was like the most fun thing to do with the Hinakora's Lock. It was not worth it. It was better used as crafting, so it's still useful. But this was the most fun thing you could do, is take something like a Mage Blood to the temple if you had a shit ton of currency, made for some great videos, all of which, like I said, ended up not being worth it and being a huge waste of currency. But it was still super fun, so I don't see why they did this. I don't see the point of it. It sucks for a lot of people that hoarded a lot of the Hinakora's locks for the move to standard, because they are staying in standard. But apparently they just decided that nope, no fun for you. So kind of a bummer and kind of a weird change, but whatever. Also, what is this? I don't remember seeing this. The Maven releases all bosses all at once. Modifier can once again roll on Maven's invitations. That's fun? And the last one I want to talk about is the biggest one for me and also for a lot of people. We knew Sanctum was going to get nerfed. And when I first read this, I thought, this is not that bad. It is still incredibly profitable with the exact same rewards, even without the Hour of Divinity and the Gilded Chalice. In fact, I barely used them last league because they just kind of annoyed me. And I would have rather used the extra room reveal space for my relics so I could see a couple extra rooms, because I really was trying to find a mirror reward. And spoiler alert, after thousands of Sanctums I ran last league, I never even saw a mirror reward, let alone actually get one. So I think the videos of people getting them in Sanctum are blown way out of proportion. It is very rare. It may technically be the best way to get a mirror, but that is still an extremely rare occurrence, so I don't think it was anything crazy. I was expecting them maybe to nerf the Divines a good amount, and I was scared of that, but they didn't do that. But this nerf drives me up a frickin' wall, because they don't give a number by how much it reduced the drop rate of Forbidden Tomes. This could be 10%. This could be 10,000%. Tomes could go up from 10 to 20 chaos to 20 to 30 chaos. Or they could go up to 2 to 3 divine apiece, making them terrible unless you are, you know, extremely good and can bump it up with the Hour of Divinity and Gilded Chalice. It's so much that's up in the air. And it's super annoying because my league strategy was going to be SRS into a Sanctum rush, but I have no idea until a couple days into the league if it's even a thing that's possible, because we don't know the reduced drop rate of the Forbidden Tome. So everything is up in the air. My league started, as well as I'm sure some of yours, is now up in the air because the thing you are going to do, you have zero idea if it's worth it. So I might have to game plan and see, do a different build, or maybe one that I, you know, will feel comfortable with mapping if Sanctum Forbidden Tomes end up being incredibly rare, but I guess we'll see. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for my patch rundown and just some things that stood out to me. I'll probably do a video about just the league in general and how excited I am for it, because I am super hyped for it. So get subscribed and look out for that video. I cannot wait. This is going to be the longest week of my life. And yeah, so if you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and follow over on twitch.tv/SafeOnTalk. Join the Discord. We have a great community. We're going to be streaming a ton of the new league, and I can't wait to come over and join us. I help people whenever I can, answer any questions I can, and if I can't answer it, there's usually a couple people in chat that know the answers that I don't. So it is a great place to start, especially if you are new in the Path of Exile. So thanks everyone for hanging out, and I will catch you on the next one.